Plus Sports and PlusTvAfrica on a Thursday. Welcome on the show. My name is Wale Scott. I've got Mukail Tinubu as usual. Welcome on the show.
Hello.
Now, Nigeria had a bad start to the Tokyo 2020 Paralympic Games as all the 5 para-table tennis players lost their opening games on Wednesday. Now, Hamed Kaliosho was the first in action, losing 3-0, 11-5, 11-3, 11-8 to Germany's Thomas Berchel in the men's singles Class D. Group D, Tajuddin Agumbiade also lost by the same margin, 11-5, 11-7, 11-6 in 20 minutes to Ukraine's Ivan Mai. Nigeria's third game saw Victor Faniloye going 2-1 up against Ukraine's Victor Diko before losing the next 2 sets, ending the game with a 3-2, 11-6, 7-10, 9-11, 11-9, 11-3 loss. Alabi Olufemi was a 15-minute casualty, falling to the superpower of China's Hao Lian, 3-0, 11-6, 11-4, 11-9. Like the other 4, Faith Ozae also lost 3-0 in the women's singles. She was defeated by Chinese Taipei's Xian Tian, 3-0, 11-9, 11-3, 11-5 in just 13 minutes. I'm not surprised at the fact that they lost to, some of them lost to Asian people. I'm not surprised at that one. It's the ones that lost. And I've always been a big fan of the Paralympics team. But it's not always been in table tennis, really. Other sports, most importantly, weightlifting, not table tennis. So I'm not disappointed yet at this.
Well, as we know, the Asians practically invented the sports of ping pong. So they dominate every competition. But then some people might, unlike you, who is not entirely, disappointed. Some people might.
I'm not disappointed, no.
Some people
in
might.
these sports.
Yeah, I understand.
When it comes to weightlifting, when it comes to running, rowing, I might be disappointed.
But then, what I want to remind those that might be disappointed is that it doesn't, just because they lost doesn't mean they work any less as hard as those who have won their first round games. At the end of the day, it comes down to competition, regular competition, and resources, which they don't have. Because in sports, when you play regularly against mediocre or with mediocre, you become mediocre. When you play against top level, you improve incrementally until you are yourself one of the top level guys. And resources allows you to go for these competitions, these test runs, meets, if you may say. And in Nigeria, we just don't seem to have that consistency because one administration comes in, focuses a little resources in it. The next administration comes in, and then they're not so focused. So,
well, later on the show, we're talking about the French Le Championnat. Paris Saint-Germain, Lionel Messi sold out his shirt in 30 minutes. 30 minutes. But this league has lost this. Toby Olushola, our producer, will be working on that. We'll talk about that later on the show, okay? But Harry Kane has revealed he will be staying at Tottenham this summer, following months of speculation about his future. Now, he has covered, the story has been covered and closely and answers key questions on what it means and what comes next. How much of a surprise was it to see Harry Kane confirm he will be staying at Tottenham this season, giving Manchester City's long pursuit of the star? Too much talk. In fact, Harry Kane's matter has caused so much problems. We're actually arguing in the studio right now.
I think the problem, kudos to him for being a top professional.
How old is he and how much money is being put on him?
he's been very dignified in the way he's handled this whole situation. Even if some I don't want to insult them and their credibility, even if they've come out and criticized him on air, even though most of them have never been in the situation he has been in, trapped at a club that isn't going anywhere, constantly claims that it's going to vie for trophies, never gets there. And at 28, this was his last chance because no one is going to come back for him at 29, even though it's just a year difference. As a striker, managers hope that they can get at least squeeze 5 years out of you so that longevity and consistency in the squad is available. But I guess this just goes to show you that when you're a top professional, you're probably going to lose out. If we remember Steven Gerrard, if it wasn't because he won Champions League football and maybe a couple FA Cups, we would say his career was mostly a failure because the one trophy that he tried for years to win, the Premier League, he couldn't lead it.
He never got it, yeah.
And now, Harry Kane will probably never win a trophy, a major trophy.
With so much talent.
With so much talent. And he's one of the very best strikers to have come out of England since Rooney.
I'll come to this story to you. Yeah, in basketball, yeah, even in hockey, even in cricket. But when you see a football game that ends 12-0, I'll come to you on that one. Bayern Munich head coach Julian Nagelsmann hailed Jamal Musialas, one of the world's football's best teenagers. Now, he's only 18 years old. He scored twice as Bayern beat fifth-tier side Brent SV 12-0 in the DFB Pokal clash. Leroy Sané was also on the score sheet in Bremen, with Nagelsmann thrilled by the winger's focus during his 68-minute shift on the pitch. This guy is one of the biggest things happening in the world of football right now. He's taking over from Haaland. He's taking over from Jadon Sancho. He's the biggest thing right now.
It's
and he's a wingman.
And I don't want to talk about him specifically. I want to talk about this match because I wonder, for fifth-tier club, how does a Bayern Munich and a fifth-tier club end up playing against each other? That's completely unfair.
Is it DFB Pokal?
It doesn't matter.
It's like the FA Cup.
I don't care if it's a League Cup. It doesn't matter. They should have never.
How do you beat them 12-0? Bayern is not really a fantastic team right now.
Yes.
For me, right now.
Yes.
They're not.
At this point, right now, there's nothing about Bayern that scares their top European competition.
Absolutely nothing.
They still have, sure, they have their players, their top players have had longevity. Müller, Lewandowski, Kimmich, Goretzka. All these players have been playing for a while now. And this club doesn't even really build. They don't buy major additions to the first team. They might pick up a squad player, one or two, hardly ever two, and that player is just going to fill out the bench for most of the season. But you end up giving them an opportunity to play a small team like this. Of course, their credentials seems like they're scary, and they just aren't that scary.
On this show, sometimes sports people, sports events, try to make myself and Mukail look like liars, look like we don't know what we're doing. We do. But these events just make us look like we don't know what we're doing. Top seed Pablo Carreno Busta eased into the quarterfinals in the Winston-Salem Open after a straight sets win over Dominic Koepfer. Now, Carreno Busta needed just 67 minutes to see off the German 6-2, 6-3. The Olympic bronze medalist moves through to face Elias Ticker in the last 8. Now, American tennis star Serena Williams has withdrawn from next week's US Open after she said on Wednesday that her torn hamstring had not completely healed ahead of the final Grand Slam of the year.
US Open champion on Wednesday said that her torn hamstring had not completely healed.
Serena, like the Yoruba would say, Agbatinde, so she withdraws. She says the torn hamstring is not letting go, and she really has to let it go.
She's won so much, and it's crazy to me that now she's almost 40, and we're talking about the possibility that she won't even match a record that everyone expected she would break. And she's been playing since she was 14, which tells you that even though these majors, there are multiple majors over the course of a single year, it takes a lot to win them. And most of the time, these athletes, these tennis players, get into a stream of form and they win back-to-back in a couple years. And that's where most of their major wins come in. And the rest is spread out over many years. Serena Williams, I would have put plenty of money down maybe 5 years ago that by now she would be above the record by 3 majors.
But injury came into force. Reckless social lifestyle came into force too, and I guess.
Well, I mean, I don't know if this qualifies as a reckless social lifestyle. I mean, she was pregnant for a time.
Before then, she had these issues of nightclubbing and all that.
Well, I mean, when you're successful, really, you should get to enjoy your youth before age catches up to you.
The public don't see it like that.
Well, it's not the public. The public did not determine whether she got to play. The public did not determine whether she had the talents to succeed. And the public definitely shouldn't get to determine whether she gets to party after so much success. Anybody else, after accomplishing maybe just 15 majors, heck, just 10 majors, and we'd be like, you know what? If she wants to party the rest of her career away, fine.
Why not?
Fine. She has plenty of sponsorship deals. Money is not a problem. She's got a beautiful family, and the record is just something for posterity. It's not going to change how successful she has been.
Valerina Shabalina of the Russian Olympic Committee set a new record in the women's 100 meters fly 7:14 and track cyclist Serena, story of Great Britain, and Tristan Bangner of the Netherlands also set best ever times. There was plenty of action at Tokyo Aquatics Centre with Australia's William Martin taking gold in the men's 400 meters freestyle S9, followed by Hugo Didier of France and Alexander Trockfeld, also of Australia, with silver and bronze. Well, Australia earned their second swimming gold with Lacaste Patterson, winning the women's 400 meters freestyle in the same S9 class. A major question. We were on the show on Tuesday with Halim, and we spoke about being physically challenged. But you spoke about a dwarf in the team Nigeria. And the question is, some people would tell you that a dwarf is not
physically challenged.
He's not physically challenged.
Especially in this era.
He was just built that way.
Yeah, especially in this era of political correctness.
Yeah.
He's disadvantaged, but not...
He's not physically challenged.
Physically challenged.
Really?
He can't do certain things, but that's to be expected because even you and I, we're the same height, but you can't do some things I can do. And
because of your height?
Because of my height, because of my age. It's all about biology. And sometimes there's difference in biology. Doesn't mean that someone who's just disadvantaged against someone, because even in golf, they have handicaps.
Sure.
If you're a shorter person, you have more handicaps than a taller golfer. But you can probably generate less power than a taller golfer. But they account for that, they compensate for that. And it just raises the question of how do you justify putting someone whose physical challenges are different, very different, to someone else and have them play the same sport against each other?
Okay. This is where I come to Mukail on this one.
Don't come to me.
I will. Former world number 1, Andy Murray. Now, Mukail is a big fan, for the record, of Andy Murray. Was knocked out of his last tournament before the US Open on Tuesday. France's Tiafoe of the United States, while top seed Pablo Carreno Busta needed 3 sets to progress to the third round. Tiafoe is ranked 51st. To Britain, Morris 114th and is hoping to return to the top 50 after defeating the Briton 7-6, 4-6-3 at the Winston-Salem Open. Now, Spain's Carreno Busta, who beat world number 1 Novak Djokovic in July to win the bronze medal at the Tokyo Olympics, dropped the second set against South Korea's Sung-Hwa Kwon, but rallied back to win 6-3, 3-6, 6-4. Tiafoe will face Thiago Monteiro of Brazil in the third round, while Carreno Busta will take on Dominic Koepfer of Germany. Paris Saint-Germain, Lionel Messi. People claim, I was reading something yesterday, and Cristiano Ronaldo said he asked his son, his first son who is playing football, small boy, that who's the best footballer ever? And he said he was expecting him to say, you, Dad. And the guy said, Lionel Messi. Come on. You don't tell your dad that kind of thing, but well, it's happened. But this guy went to Paris Saint-Germain. Well, the man rated to be one of the biggest players in the world. And his shirt was sold out in 30 minutes. Record breaking. But this league has lost. He's not even number 5 on the list of leagues across the world. Yeah. The Bundesliga has taken over. English Premier League, of course. You know?
It begs the question because a few years ago, people have always referred to Ligue 1 as a farmers' league. And the notion that a Messi or Ronaldo would ever go there seemed unlikely. But PSG have so much money, and Messi and Ronaldo...
But Kylian Mbappe went there, Angel Di Maria went there.
Yeah, but Kylian Mbappe wanted to stay in France.
Neymar went there.
These players all had their various reasons for going there. PSG have never won a Champions League, and Neymar, because of his ego, thought that as long as he could help them win it, then he would be in line to win the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah.
And that no matter how well he did at Barcelona, all credits would always be put on Messi. Because even if he scored 30 goals, if 15 of those goals are delivered assists by Messi, Messi gets the credit. So as for Mbappe has always had a trajectory of how he wanted his career to go. He wanted to continue to develop.
Let's quickly round this up. What will be the problem? This is a league that's got Rennes, it's got Nantes, it's got Paris Saint-Germain, it's got major clubs in the world. How can they be 6th on the log?
I don't have an idea of how the organizers determine, UEFA, how they determine what leagues come in what order.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't say that the Portuguese league, which is now 5th, have delivered many
teams. The Portuguese league is ahead of the French Championnat. And this team, Paris Saint-Germain, was in the Champions League last season.
Yes.
And they did quite well this season too.
How do you determine which league is higher than the other when I don't think Portugal have delivered enough teams in Europe consistently for the last few years to justify them moving? At the same time, when we talk about Ligue 1, the club we're always really talking about one club, PSG. So most of the power in Ligue 1, it resides in PSG. And they're the ones who go as far as possible in the Champions League.
Okay, Mukael, Tinubu, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
As usual, Plus Sports and Plus TV Africa. My name is Wally Scott. Join us same time, same station tomorrow. Like I always advise you at the end of every show, if not for anything, at least for your hearts, do some sports.